I want to make a video tonight dealing with the recent NRA commercial. I'm sure everyone has seen it, the one where they equate, well, Sasha and Malia have security at their school, so why shouldn't we have security at our schools for our children? Now, I'll admit I was one of the people that when this video first came out, I found it to be of poor taste. I found it to be kind of ridiculous it's ridiculous to sit back and pretend that, my children are at the same level of risk as the president's children or dignitaries' children, because those are potential terrorist targets. They are very specific terrorist targets, and they're very likely terrorist targets. So, I thought, well, the whole equation is kind of stupid, makes the NRA look bad, it makes it look like they're pandering, it makes it look like they're fear-mongering. I didn't like it at all, and, I was very vocal in my opinion when people asked me. It always surprises me when people ask my opinion, but I like it. It makes me feel important, so I'm more than happy to tell them. And I told people in live chats, everything, I just didn't like it, and I told them why, just like I told you now. But, as I've seen it a few times, I'm kind of changing my mind, and I kind of wanted to put that out there and tell people that, even though I may have told you one thing before, I am a little bit changing my opinion of it. Now, I never thought I'd be in a position where I'm defending the NRA, because let's face it, the NRA and I are not on the best of terms. Now, I am an NRA member. I support the NRA, and like I've said before, I want them there, even though if I don't agree with everything they say, I still want them there to watch out for the Second Amendment, because they are the strongest voice for the Second Amendment right now. But I felt I needed to say this because, like I say, I jumped on before, and, I'm kind of changing my opinion. And like I say, even though I didn't ever think I'd be in a position of defending them in this way, I feel that I should, because it's really the way I feel. Now, one of the reasons that the president and them gave for banning firearms, for banning assault weapons, for taking the anti-gun steps they're taking is because that this likely event can't be allowed to happen again. And they do this under the pretense that it could happen again at any moment if we don't take action. So if you take that position, if you take that it could happen at any moment for any reason as an excuse to ban firearms, well, then you have to also accept that if you take that position that it could happen again at any time, anywhere, that those children anytime, anywhere can be at danger and they need protection. So therefore, they do need protection in the schools. They do need armed resources officers in the school. They do need security guards in the school, just like the president's children have in their school, because that's the reason they justify it there, because they are a very likely target. So if you take the position of, well, it's likely enough to happen in another public school that we need to take away the freedoms of individual citizens, well, then you have to take the position that it's likely enough to happen that we need to protect those children just like we need to protect the other children. You can't have it both ways. You can't say some children are worth protecting and some children aren't. That is elitism, and I don't like that one bit. I also don't like how we pretend like, it'd be a bigger tragedy if, like, say, the president lost a child to a terrorist than it would be if I lost my child to a terrorist. I know it'd be a bigger tragedy for me if I lost my child. So I figure it would be a bigger tragedy for you if you lost yours than it would be if he lost his. I mean, we as Americans are expected, what happens when we go through tragedy? We're told, be strong, go forward. I wouldn't expect any less from our leaders. Now, I wouldn't want any child to ever be harmed, and I wouldn't say, well, take security away from Sasha and Malia because my child doesn't have security. I don't fight one injustice with another. I solve one wrong by using another right as an example. So I say, protect my child. So if you're going to say that armed security works for your children and it protects them even as likely a targets as they are, then you have to accept that armed security would work for my child, and you also have to accept that my child is just as precious to me and just as important to me as yours is to you. So basically, in the end, I kind of support the commercial now. I kind of feel that, the point they're making, the overall grander point is right. It's a little easy to miss it at first because you get wrapped up in the minor details of it and you miss the big picture. But in the big picture, I think it's absolutely 100% correct. I think if you're going to take the position that it is likely enough that you're going to take away individual freedoms from individual citizens, then you have to accept that it's likely enough that you have to protect them. Because let's face it, the life of every child is precious and the life of every child is worth protecting, not just the children of the elite.